Hi everyone, I'm Tom. I'm going to show you mcStudio today. So I'll start up the program, and when the program first starts, it's obviously blank because we've never started a project before. So I will start a new project. I will call that project Blinky, and we will put that just somewhere in a test folder. And the device we're working on is the MC module. So when we've started here, what you'll see is our main edit window. We have some status windows as well as a status bar that is constantly updating to see what's happening in the program. So let's write a very simple program. Your best friend is control space because it's always going to show you what you can type at that time. It's kind of an autocomplete type function. In this case here, we have some statements that come up in blue and then code snippets in white. So we're going to start an event code snippet. And the thing to note for MC things is that everything is event driven. This is done to keep the power down because the system is actually asleep until it has to do something. Anytime you're designing something low power, this is what you want. So we're going to take this event snippet here and we're going to call the event blink, let's just say, and we're going to raise this event every 500 milliseconds. The other thing I could do here is if I could press control space, I can change that to microseconds, seconds, whatever I want. So now let's blink the green LED, and then later on we'll get to blinking the red LED and then do a few more advanced things. So we'll start with the green LED. Again, I press control space there to get started. And then we'll say that equals to not green LED. The other thing you'll notice here is that it is a Boolean value. So what I'm pretty much doing is I'm knotting the Boolean value so it goes from 0 to 1 if it's 0, and from 1 to 0 if it's 1. So we'll select this, and right now we should have a working program. We're going to run this in our simulator. We'll also later on have the wireless debugger and the high-speed debugger to actually debug the hardware directly. So say the simulator, and we'll start the program. As you can see, our green LED is blinking and the program is running. So now what I can do is I can pause this, and we'll quickly have the second LED blink. So that's very simple. I'm just gonna copy this code here and paste it. Now what it's going to do, it's gonna give me an error. So as you can see, blink has already been used before. So it's saying here the event has already been defined. Because of that, it's also saying that the end event must be preceded by a matching event, but because this is not valid, it's also giving an error here. So let's call this blink red, and all our errors disappear immediately. So let's change the timing on this. Let's say 333 milliseconds, and we will make this LED red and LED red. The other thing to note here is that these two threads are completely independent of each other. That makes the program very easy because normally you would have to create a scheduler and so on and so forth if you're dealing with two LEDs that are not in sync. So we'll try to run this again, and as you can see, we have our two LEDs blinking. Now the other thing that we can do is I can pause this and actually can set breakpoints. So I can set a breakpoint here, and I can run the program, and it will stop at that point. So here you can see the LED is currently on and the value is 1, and it should be that if I now step over it, it will, because I'm on the statement, it will turn the red LED off. So I'm going to step over, and as you can see, it turns it off. Here also you see your call stack of what it's currently doing. I can now get out of debug mode, and let's get into something a little bit more advanced. So the other thing that we can actually do here is create functions. So let's do a very simple function here, and I'll show you how that works. So I'll create a function. I will call that reverse. And we are going to say our input field is going to be a value as a Boolean. And everything else is going to be a Boolean. So now I'm going to say value equals not value. As you can see, even there, it's constantly seeing that, oh, you've already defined value, so we can actually grab that and use it. And now finally, I'll just return, oops, that was a mistake, return value. So this is a very, very simple function, and what I can actually do here, show you that it works, is instead of doing this, I will say reverse, and as you can see, it automatically comes up and tells you what the function is. Reverse LED red. So this function should work in the exact same way that the other one did. So if I start it, as you can see, they're both again blinking. Now, the other thing to note here is on the bottom here in the debug window is you'll see it's mostly sleeping, and then once in a while it runs for a really, really short time. And again, that's because the software is event driven. So I can pause this, and the other thing I can do here is let's set a breakpoint here on the red and run it again. So now I'm at this breakpoint, and I can actually step in to the function. So step into the function, and as you can see, it goes over to reverse. Keep stepping forward. Changes the value. Now, the other thing to notice here that you can see your value here in your debug window. It's currently set as true. So now, in the next step, it will make that value false. And it's going to return, in the function now, it's going to return that value back into the function. And our next step, it should go off. And as you can see, it went off. So this seems like a little bit roundabout way to show this. But the key here is that we can create functions. This is really a full programming language. So you can make programs as complex as you like or as simple as you like. The other thing here that we can do is if I create a new, first I have to get out of debug mode before I can do that. I can create a new file. So I can add a new file to this project, and let's call this functions. So when I create it, I can actually copy this thing over and still, even now, I'll actually leave this breakpoint. I can run it, and I can still actually step into the code, and it automatically brings me over to the other tab. So it works across tabs. How we see this is that you can create libraries for specific hardware, for example, that will plug into any other people's projects, because again, it's event driven, so it could just call these functions and it will work quite nicely. These are a self-contained file that can be loaded from computer to computer. I hope you liked that quick look at our current state of our mcStudio. We'll be making some more videos regarding the software as we make progress. There's a few more examples I'll be showing soon, so look out for those videos. Thanks.